If you want to end the game before 15 minutes, get that Phoveus on that power spike.
Well, I mean, we set it up already going into this one. When you're thinking of a draft for Twisted Minds and NIP Flash, you can't help but think of creative solutions to some of the biggest problems in the meta.
They're just built that way. Sometimes they even see a problem before it comes.
It just goes to show why these two have made it this far in the M6 Swiss stages. Their unique takes on the game. I'm leaning more towards the idea of a roam Khalid though, and the problem is if they go Joy.
It's the more grounded approach.
Yeah, it's a more grounded approach. But if they go Joy here, I feel like that lineup might be a little bit too local, you know? Too many things going on. Khalid and Phoveus, where exactly you're gonna focus on, where's your man marking, and then the Joys can go wild, but at the same time, it's like, how good is your 4-1 split? When FNOP played the Joy, we saw they used that to take resources away from Obazane while they were split as 4-1.
Utility Joy.
Yeah, it was like a utility style Joy, so different approaches you can go for.
I think the most important thing is who are they playing around for the red side, right? That very final pick. Is it going to be Hades or is it Cortese? Because if they show Joy now, then the real question is whether Cortese is going to do something crazy, because Mage Pool generally is pretty limited overall. So there we go, it's Joy. So they have been setting up for Cortese this whole time.
Interesting. So they have the one source of burst physical, one source of burst magic. The damage profile seems to be good for them.
And the mobility too. That's the grill for sure. And what's going into Saudi Gold's hands? It's the safe Moskov. So that whole Phoveus Moskov situation, Sano's just gonna have to play out of his mind to get out of that rut.
Yeah, it's gonna be a... Yeah. Oh wait, the more I'm looking at the draft, it's very difficult for Phoveus and Khalid if we're looking at team fighting alone.
And not to mention, even if they want to like play a little spicy of, oh, Cortese pick up the Phoveus, go into the mid lane, Tigreal plus Loyi, you're going to get chunked out so easily, so fast.
So I think that's why NIP Flash have to play guerrilla tactics.
Yeah.
They have to come out of these bushes faster than the diversion can rotate out Twisted Minds.
It's a Diablo pick. What if suddenly like a guy pops up? That'll be funny, but nah.
Oh, I told you!
Oh, there we go.
Mid Martis!
Yes.
Finally back!
Mid Martis. This is interesting because the anti-CC works well into the Loyi.
The menace from MSC!
Here we go. NIP Flash versus Twisted Minds. Game 1. Mirko, Staffa, let's go.
Thank you very much, boys. I think we're gonna be in for a very entertaining first series of the day today. My name is Staffa, joined on the desk by none other than Mirko. How you feeling, sir?
Feeling great, especially after seeing that Martis pick, man. It definitely feels like NIP Flash have been playing the Swiss stage a bit safe, you know? I feel like we haven't really seen this version of Cortese just yet. Finally, though, we get to see it. It's Martis, the menace from MSC.
I am very, very happy to get to see Cortese on the Martis once again. It's great that NIP Flash is finally bringing in that unique drafting that we know them for. And as we prepare to jump into the Land of Dawn for game number 1, let's see if their minds will be twisted or if victory will be claimed through a flash of inspiration.
Twisted Minds versus Team Flash. NIP Flash, man. For Twisted Minds, it's all about getting into the late game. We've seen, at least, you know, from the games that they have won. For NIP Flash, it's been really about getting the early game, snowballing through. We saw how they were able to utilize Hades on a Ling, and the Joy too, to be fair. He also won on that Joy. And the fact that Bruno, something so prio, something that everybody's just been preaching about, has been left open and given to someone like Vanix, this is a scary setup that NIP Flash have going for them.
Yeah, even when you consider that this is actually the first time that Vanix has been able to pick up that Bruno the entire Swiss stage. But of course, the M6 pass is currently available, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to complete all active tasks during the event to reach level 75 for free and get amazing rewards such as Claude's Battle emote, M6 Zori Avatar Border, Baxia's emote, and the new special skin, Baxia Dauntless Shield for free.
I already got it. I'm not trying to flex, you know, but I'm just saying, I already got it, man. Level 75, been playing the game every day on a marksman. And speaking of the marksman lane, you know, or the gold lane rather, I am a big fan of the Master Assassin, actually. And I think a lot of people have now just gone for Master Assassin. Even as a weak side on the Moskov, Sano has gone for Master Assassin. It's all about that laning. They know they're going to be solo most of the time, so you get so much value out of that emblem.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how the meta has shifted, where nowadays you see gold laners being left as the island rather than the traditional EXP laners being left to do their thing. So Master Assassin getting a lot more prevalence so that you can actually win out that side lane and make it so that your team doesn't have to babysit you quite as much as before, right? Because nowadays we're seeing a lot more shift towards that early game aggression, rotations getting a lot of priority to make sure that you're able to contest objectives.
Yin Yang reaction, catching Diablo, goes over for a pursuit again. The second Yin Yang reaction troll, very close to level 4. Hades walking up, that's the AOG, catching the electrifying beats. The AOG was cancelled earlier, that's first blood for Curtizi as he goes for the estimate. Diablo walking forward, getting the kill. Hoda sniping him down. Now it's JPL walking back, and it is a 1-for-1 trade. Troll for Curtizi, and IP Flash going back to the turtle.
Yeah, Twisted Minds definitely started off that fight a little bit scattered, a bit messy, and NIP Flash took advantage of that, but Sanji...
Let's see, the diversion brings them back in. Reaction! Sanji helping Hoda get that kill and now just walks away. Twisted Minds grabbing control of the turtle again, gets a snipe down onto Curtizi just to poke him down, but Twisted Minds will respect this for now. Kurt, no, it's just a bit of poke.
We have to know Twisted Minds is the team that's very good at maintaining stability in gameplay. They definitely got caught off guard initially with NIP Flash's aggression, trying to split up the team fight, but once they were able to retreat and regain a little bit more ground in their own jungle, you could see that they were able to reform their team fight formation a lot more easily, and because of that, were able to effectively take out NIP Flash, who were trying to scatter them by doing so themselves.
Diablo trying to disperse them. AOG coming down as well. Turtle gonna be resetted. That's the Raging Sandstorm to cuff in a full dive in the back. Sanji claims the turtle though. Now it's Troll caught, still able to flick around. Hoda almost caught, but that's the again. Hades walking up. That's a shove back and a knock up. Hoda getting the killing spree. Diablo caught in the midst of it all, jumping in. JPL and Curtizi will dive in. SOD a bit short. Sanji looking for the trade back. JPL running desperately for his life. Sanji wants to continue the chase, but will not be able to get in range.
Personally, if you ask me, NIP Flash isn't really getting the beneficial trades that they're looking for here. The game state is still pretty even, right? 4 kills to 4 kills. But Twisted Minds, you can see that they are making sure not to scatter too much. They have a team composition that's a little bit better at taking advantage of full-out 5v5s, more of a front-to-back composition, whereas NIP Flash want to go for more skirmish style, right? They want to split apart the players, and Twisted Minds is not letting them do that right now. And because of NIP Flash's over-aggression with this mid-Martis, you can see that they end up taking a lot more damage from structures and from poke when they really don't need to.
And you can see that with the composition of the Martis being in the mid lane, they can actually just constantly give Vanix more farm. He's double laning at this point of the game, rotating from bot to mid to catch the wave, and then again shoving in the bottom lane. But now they're taking it a bit slow. They know there are no neutral objectives on the map, so they're pretty vulnerable to some ganks. JPL constantly just making sure Vanix doesn't get ganked. This is the late game insurance, or rather the mid game insurance. They gotta wait for that Malefic gun purchase.
Oh, and I think NIP Flash are well aware of that timing as well. You can see that they're making sure to keep wide net over the map, though a diversion play is coming out.
Yin Yang reaction not able to connect, just barely out of range. Good spacing from Vanix, and that will be a denied gank.
That's very important for NIP. We've already seen so far in the Swiss stage, Bruno can win games for you. If your opponents are not able to end the game roughly by the 15-16 minute mark, Bruno just completely takes over. And that's usually around the first or second Lord push timing as well. If you're not able to break down the crystal by then, it becomes very difficult for you to re-enter. Especially with this lineup, Twisted Minds are actually not the best at direct siege towards the later game phases. So the more lead they can achieve by the early to mid game, the more comfortable it's going to be. And that is what NIP Flash wants to stop them from achieving.
Whoa, that's a flicker from Curtizi. Diving deep, Raging Sandstorm, catching 3. Diablo with a flicker forward, Curtizi will fall. That's a massive pushback by Troll to find it. The AOG trying to go for the flank out to Hades. SOD will connect. That's a stun from Hoda. Sano, Spear of Misery, all the way from downtown. That's a win for Twisted Minds.
Curtizi definitely jumped the gun a little bit there. This is what we mentioned, right? Twisted Minds, their lineup thrives in situations where they can fight together as a 4-man, as a 5-man. And NIP Flash is definitely making a lot of space for Vanix, but they're losing a lot in exchange too.
Okay. Was a bit risky there from Hades, but he knows how mobile he can be. It'll be a trade up top too. So the fact that NIP Flash couldn't get their hands on the turtle, losing in that skirmish, overcommitting also, I thought it would still be not that bad because they got a turret trade. Now though, Twisted Minds, they got the turtle, the fight, and a turret up top. So massive value here as we get into the 6th minute of the game.
I think the more value Twisted Minds can get, the better it's going to be, right? As long as they can make sure to end the... Oh, that was dangerous. Vanix almost exploding there. Gonna be able to survive for now, though. And
No, don't take... No way. Okay, he doesn't.
Okay. I can understand the temptation in that situation, though, because Vanix is the main target, right? After everything. Though they're looking for someone else right now.
Troll? That's a concealed. JPL going to be caught in the implosion. The shove will follow. The immediate reaction as well. JPL still able to escape. Just barely.
I think that was a slight mistake in micro movements there. The taunt from Sanji kinda cancelled out the Sacred Hammer. The extra push distance would have guaranteed a kill on JPL, so a bit of wasted resources there by Twisted Minds. They still have a 1k goal lead, but to be honest with you, Mirko, I don't think 1k is enough for them. They need to have a bigger snowball by this point, because Vanix has still not been affected. The Bruno score is 0-0-0. While he is a little bit behind with Sano comparatively in EXP, we know that Bruno just scales so much better throughout every single phase of the game. That is going to be the main concern on the minds of Twisted Minds right now. They want to make sure that they're able to continue pushing the lead that they currently have by forcing out team fights where NIP Flash goes overly aggressive. But I would imagine that at this point, NIP Flash have to have adjusted somewhat.
I agree. I think for NIP Flash, you know, the fact that Twisted Minds only have a 1,000 gold lead, NIP Flash should be pretty happy with it. They're still waiting on Vanix to hit his power spike. Same goes for Hades. We know that the Joy and Bruno becomes a very lethal source of damage in the later stage of the game once they have those items. So, Twisted Minds, I don't know. Even though they do have a Moskov, they can play into the later stage as well. Definitely seems like they want a bigger snowball here. And for NIP Flash, Curtisi on a Martis, usually, in a normal case, this would be, you know, the time for a fall-off for the Martis. But I don't think so. I don't think that's the case here in this game. I think for Curtisi, it's all just about walking up, being the diversion, literally, for everybody to hit on him, and Vanix gets free hits in the fights.
Yeah, I agree with you here, Mirko. I think Curtisi's goal isn't really to be the finisher, but now the Lord is being contested. Both teams in a tense conflict.
This is great from Twisted Minds. They're playing the macro game really well. Troll goes with an implosion. Gets caught between Sandstorm. Hades jumps with electrifying beats. Hoda takes him down. That's Sanji with the taunt. And now Sano joins in the fight from downtown after taking the tier 2. Curtisi displaced again by the Indian reaction. Sano goes over to Spear of Misery, pins him down to the wall as JPL gets chased down by Vanix. Goes wild. Sanji getting out of the vision so close. Getting into the bush, barely in time, and it becomes a 2 for 2. But remember, Sano got everything down below.
Yeah, these are very excellent displays of micro mastery between both teams right now, but Twisted Minds was definitely the winner in that previous engagement. I am seeing a slight gap in communication from NIP Flash, where we definitely saw Hades try to go too deep for a kill when his team wasn't ready to back him up and had to force through multiple layers of Twisted Minds' frontline heroes in order to actually reach the backline, and by then they were already overcommitted. You do not want to be giving Sano a snowball at this point, right? The Moskov only one item away from finishing that Trinity. Vanix is keeping up. Just got that Malefic gun. So this is also going to be a very important timing for NIP Flash, especially since Hades rushed the Holy Crystal.
Troll with an implosion! That's the avatar of the Guardian! And everything is going wrong now for NIP Flash. Both their carries have been taken down. JPL is next, and Twisted Minds, they have literally twisted that fight into their favor.
That was a huge catch right there. The diversion just to send Troll. They already knew that NIP Flash was probably going to be waiting in that brush. I don't even know if they realized there would be so many targets there, though. A huge bonus. Free Lord, free mid-tier too. And they've already...
Oh! That's a pin down! Curtisi has been taken out. Diablo left to fend off 3 members of Twisted Minds all alone, and all in that time, Hoda was on the Lord. That becomes a free Lord. Only the first Lord, don't. Vanix still trying to go for the fence. Hoda getting the stun down. Oh, it's a pin down as well. Diablo goes into the back. JP into the Raging Sandstorm, but Sano's still free hitting as Hoda executes him. Goes in for another stun. Will not be able to find it. Cuffin walks up aggressively, and now it's a 5,000 gold lead for TM.
This is a big problem right now. This timing around the 10-minute mark was a very crucial gap for NIP Flash, where they needed to be able to get advantage since Vanix just got the Malefic gun, but they've given too much advantage over to Twisted Minds instead. Sano now 3-0-1 on the Moskov, a 5k gold lead. The inhibitor is being threatened, and while they're not, you can see the damage, right? Twisted Minds, I mentioned earlier, not the best base siege composition, but when they're ahead, it's hard for NIP Flash to kind of separate them.
Diablo goes in as a Raging Sandstorm onto 3, but Troll again gets the implosion! Curtizi was slain in that fight. Vanix is going for the free hits, but it's only onto Cuffin who can take the shots. Hades gets the shutdown. Now he's looking for some kills. Let's go for electrifying beats! Hades versus the world! And he gets stunned down. The shielding from Cuffin and the yin-yang reaction to get it in time.
Ooh, we are looking at a big problem now for NIP Flash. They have not been approaching this game correctly. Twisted Minds have so many heroes that are good at counter-engaging. If we just saw a little bit more patience from the Singaporean team, I feel like they could be able to outplay and even bait resources from their opponents. But instead, they're taking very honest and direct 5v5s, in which Twisted Minds will naturally have that advantage. Troll has been popping off every single time, waiting for the perfect opportunity with those implosions, because he knows he can take advantage of NIP Flash's habits of wanting to get things started and use that as a way to counter-engage instead of being forced to waste the implosion early to actually start fights for his team.
And at this point, I don't know, man, for NIP Flash, we were talking about the siege potential for Twisted Minds not being that good, right? But NIP Flash, when it comes to defending, it's literally just a Bruno. No one else can really deal with the waves here. And as we get into the later stage of the game, Sano, Malefic gun already too. That's an immortality for Troll. He wants to be the one to go in, and then if you try to punish Troll, it really isn't even going to be worth it. Hades gets an angle. That's a great Spear of Misery. Sanji goes in for the taunt as well. Sano dodges away from the Raging Sandstorm. Sanji in the midst of it all, popping revitalized. SOD! Sano! Flanking from behind as Hoda gets the stun and the Soul Sever. 4 members down. It's just Hades left to defend what NIP Flash have left, and it's just the base. Hades walks up and he gets imploded by Troll. Game number 1 dominated by Twisted Minds.
A beautiful demonstration by Twisted Minds, drafting a very honest and very simple team composition. But sometimes going back to the basics is where you are going to be the most reliable, is where you're going to be the most familiar. And NIP Flash, unfortunately, tried to be creative, tried to be unique, tried to bring their own brand to the Land of Dawn, but played right into their opponent's hands. Let's go ahead and throw it back over to our panel and see what they have to say about Game 1.
Yalla, Twisted Minds taking game number 1 against NIP Flash, and I'ma straight up say it, disciplined. They look so disciplined and clean with every response that they threw towards NIP Flash.
They were also ready more than anything, and on the other side of the coin, it was NIP Flash who may or may not have gotten their due because of all the days. It's with this draft that they bring out their quirky side, and we expect the most from that mid lane Martis, and this happens.
I mean, what can I really say? Because again, as NIP Flash are going to show you, if they're going to show quirky, it's on game 1. They're not going to risk it